do you think?
About what?
The trim for around the arch.
Well, Miss Nancy, I was in the National Guard down in Miami during those riots of 80, and, well, one day my unit followed an armored vehicle that went right through a pet store. The tank just rolled through. Of course, all those little animals, they couldn't get out of the way, being trapped and all. Well, they just left flat furry bursts on the floor and smooshed spots and flattened cages.
That is disgusting.
Yes, ma'am, but this here pretty near to worse.
Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Nafa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror. It's the Doom Show. The cuckoo clock interrupts the show. Doomed Moviethon, death of the old salesman. Sweaty Cameron Mitchell. Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Nafa. It's the Doom Show. It's the Doomed Show. Doomed Show.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doomed Show. Folks, I'm outside of Doomed Moviethon Studios once again. There's a bee in here. I am at Nafa's house. Hello, Nafa.
Hello.
Nafa just happened to be here.
Just happened to
be here. Oh, this is in video. Oh, no. Okay, folks. Not only is Nafa here, and I'm here, Jeffrey and Brad are indirectly here because Jeffrey sent me a copy of the first movie we're going to talk about. And we were totally undecided as to what the hell we were going to do. We had 3 sets of choices. And I'm going to keep the other 2 a secret because I'm going to spoil what we're going to cover eventually. So we left it up to Brad, and Brad picked our double feature. He didn't know what the movies were.
No.
But
he just had a theme for each of them.
Exactly. And the theme tonight is Tampa. We're back to Tampa. We got burned by Satan's children, and not in the way we wanted to. So we wanted to see if we could return to Tampa with our heads held high.
Our heads held high.
High.
In a strangely restrained time period. Because these were only 2 years apart.
Yep. It was very strange. Restrained because both movies were PG-13-ish?
I don't even know. Was there even a PG-13 at the time?
True. The first movie we're going to talk about is called Phantom of the Ritz. And this is from 1988. According to the credits at the end, it says, filmed entirely on location at Ybor City, Florida. Mm-hmm. Which, folks who don't know Tampa, Ybor is the capital of Tampa for drunk assholes.
Yeah, it's the nightlife party place. Go for a parade, stay for the chlamydia kind of place.
I'm doing a quick survey, which is completely justified. Nafa, do you like Ybor?
I have to work there at times, as do you. And I have never been a social fan of Ybor, with the exception of the movie theaters there that nobody goes to.
Yes.
And the occasional concert.
Yes. I'm going to ask myself the question, no.
We're not, there's definitely locals who like Ybor, and if you like nightlife party stuff, fun, then have at it. It's fun, and bars and pubs and naked dances and clothes dances.
Where's Mardi Gras happen?
My pants.
Oh, let me see.
No, wait, that's...
What's the place in Louisiana?
Fat Tuesday. No, wait, what?
What's
New Orleans.
Thank you.
Oh,
I couldn't remember the name of the city for real.
Isn't it? Was it Pancake City? What was it? What was the name of it?
I know that Seattle is Spaghetti Town.
Mm-hmm. Boston is
New Orleans.
Yeah,
I get pretty mixed up.
New Orleans, I think, is the one we couldn't remember.
I like to rename cities, but yeah, New Orleans. Ybor is kind of like a really sad wannabe New Orleans. It's pretty funny.
It's a sizable stretch of town, and it's restaurants and pubs, and it is a neat place to see once or twice, and maybe once at night. But
yes,
once you see one club and all that, you can pay for overpriced drinks in any place. It's loud and often violent for the wrong reasons,
right?
And dirty. And I love my town.
Mm-hmm.
But but the funny thing is, I'll go and I'll play a show there until 3:30 in the morning, and feel perfectly safe on the streets of Ybor City, even though it's 2 doors down. Somebody got shot in the rectum or something.
Ooh.
Hey, boys and girls, remember the fabulous 50s? Hot babes in poodle skirts, great hot rods, burning rubber, and good old regular gasoline. Okay, the girls grew up. The car's suspensions may not have been that good. But nothing burns like good old regular. Those were the days. Now, it's 30 years later, baby. And one frustrated yuppie looking for real meaning in his shallow existence,
I think that's what I'm doing.
is out to bring the 50s back.
You think you're tough enough to own this place?
What are you trying to tell me?
But when he brought back the Ritz, he brought back a little something extra. He's not just another dead rock star.
I wonder if he's got representation.
Trying to make a comeback.
I've always wanted to see the street come alive again.
Hey, well, we'll do our best.
He's a living legend.
He's the only living relative of both Carl and Groucho.
He's the Phantom of the Ritz.
Oh, baby, you know what I like. The 50s were so great.
That is disgusting.
I give you the 50s!
Take out the papers and the trash.
But can a hunker burning love,
You know, you're a real sweet thing.
who looks like a melted candle,
Days like this, you realize your life is real.
Where's Sally?
find true love after the sexual revolution?
Just make sure there's a Mr. Coffee and a cigarette machine.
Almost anything's possible, sugar.
We doubt
My balls were burnt to raisins. They tend to make me a little bit aggressive.
None of this is in my job description.
it. Be there for the bits.
I'm gonna do Brum's Lullaby on my Dacarac. Lullaby!
The hits. The tit breasts.
Isn't this great?
The blitz. And the Phantom of the Ritz.
The 50s were so great.
Featuring Fireside Theater's Peter Bergman.
Are we rocking?
The Incredible Coasters. This brunette.
Innocence and evil.
And star performance too numerous to mention.
I'm happy to be an American.
Rock and roll will never die, but you haven't lived until you see the Phantom of the Ritz.
You ain't got time to take a
It's a monster movie with rhythm.
So the plot of this movie, the director is Alan Plone. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. This is insane. I'm going to just tell you what this movie purports to be, which is a Phantom of the Opera type of movie where in the 1950s, this guy gets horribly burned and he hides away in a theater for the next 30 years or 25 years or whatever. And then he's mad because people are trying to reopen this theater, the Ritz Theater. And the whole movie's about him. Oh. Okay, no. Stop right there. The movie's not about the Phantom. It's about the love story and the business dealings of Ed and Nancy. Ed is played by Peter Berg. Man. And Nancy is played by Deborah Van Valkenburg. No. She's actually an actor.
Deborah Van.
Now these two, I thought they were married like right out of the gate. But no, they're just dating. And she's way too good for him because she's Deborah Van Valkenburg from Streets of Fire and The Warriors.
Yeah, that's right.
and a bunch of other things that are way better than this movie.
Well, go at this point going, wow, I'm going to sit through this.
Yes.
Thinking...
This is going to suck.
You know, any production that's come out of Tampa prior to this, and since, seems to be, even on the grandest scales, they seem to falter in certain aspects of writing and or quality and or visual effects and
Satan's Children.
Like that. Satan's Children. I'm thinking The Punisher. I'm thinking, which I like The Punisher.
Me too. Cop and a Half.
I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. And maybe it's just being familiar with the area. It's just...
Yeah. So we're gonna reveal some surprises. We were very surprised by this film. What surprises me is how awful the structure of this movie is. The movie starts in 1955 or so. Yeah. 1956, maybe.
Because it jumps to like 58.
And we see a guy get burned when his brother is drag racing. And then...
in a 40-foot lane.
Yes, he calls him a flaming asshole. So his brother dies. He becomes the Phantom when he gets burned. And
in a race that was slow enough for someone to saunter across the raceway.
These cars were going 30. They did not try to speed it up. And for once, I wish they had. The best thing is, the structure of this movie is, we go from this horrifying incident where the guy gets burned, and we see his burned hand clutching like it. And his voiceover is awful. I'm going to play all kinds of voiceover.
And you'll hear, if you play that part, count and see how long it lasts.
Oh, it's fucking perfect.
That's me on the ground. Pretty good looking kid. My brother Joey, the flaming asshole, he never got out of the car.
No! Oh, God!
Me? Did I have a hot time that night?
Then we jump to 1958, and there's these three kids in a diner, and what happened is I have a DVD I burned to this movie from some, who knows, the butthole of the internet.
How many generations of it?
Exactly. And the DVD starts over. So when the movie was over, we were getting ready to kind of start the next movie, and this movie started again. I got to see the whole beginning again. And then, only then, it hit me how stupid this was. That has two, not one, but two, what is it? What are they called? Prologues. There's two prologues.
Yeah.
And I'm anti-log. Normally. So we see these three kids. They're talking about going to see some big booby movie at the theater. So they sneak into the theater, and the Phantom attacks. Basically, a big, giant, hulking behemoth attacks the guy in the theater. And then we cut to what I'm not ready for, which is present day, 1988, Ybor City.
And if you're familiar with Ybor City, this film takes place in about a 2-block radius between where the Ritz is and where Centro Ybor starts now, where the old Ybor Pizza used to be in the courtyard. And this is shortly before that was all renovated, which is nice to see as a Tampa.
As a Tampan?
As a Tampan archivist. Wait.
We do get some almost funny jokes. Nancy and Ed are, hanging out. He's thinking about opening the theater. He's got this bright idea, and they're hanging out. He won't tell her what his bright idea is, because apparently this guy has thousands of dollars he wants to piss away by renovating the Ritz Theater. But they're looking at her VHS tape collection.
Which from 3 for 69 cent bin.
So great. I only wrote down one.
So did I.
I wrote down Klaus Kinski. I wrote down Klaus Kinski's bloopers and beefs on VHS.
Yep.
Which was almost funny. It was almost funny.
And that one made me laugh. And there were a couple others, but I let them go.
I'll probably play him reading the VHS tape.
There's some great titles. If those aren't movies,
folks,
they need to be.
Please bear with us. If the clips from this film's dialogue outnumber the clips of us talking about this movie, you'll understand. This is insane. Like, I couldn't believe we were staring at each other's eyes. No, each other's butts. No, Nafa and I would look at each other all through this movie like, what?
It was just, the beats in this were so quick and
holy shit,
not crappy.
No.
They actually were quality things being said at such a rapid pace. It was hard to keep up.
Because the generic shit, there's a lot of generic screenplay crap in here. And then mixed in with all that screenplay crap is the fun stuff with the really super weird shit. Like, characters blow our minds, and we'll be getting to those characters very shortly.
Rogue hamsters? The New Jersey weed whacking incident? Don't crush that dwarf, hand me the pliers? Night screams? You've got some really dreadful tapes here, Nancy.
You know I can't resist. That store next to the office has that 3 for 69-cent rack.
Yeah, but Klaus Kinski's bloopers and beeps? Come on, give me a break.
There's a Hindenburg joke, which you pointed out was very relevant.
Oh yeah, too soon.
I was pretty offended. I just turned the movie off. Like the stupid shit, like there's some boom mics that pop in. There's a dude holding down the receiver on the payphone. Mm-hmm. He's supposed to be making a call on the payphone, and he's holding the receiver. What is that called when you hang up the phone? Are you just hanging it up on the receiver?
Receiver.
He's holding it down so that they won't have the busy signal come on. But it's a street scene, and he's not taught. Anyway, it's so
it
stupid.
Seems to me if he's holding it down, there's a chance somebody could ring in.
Either way, it was dumb as balls. My favorite moment that I really don't understand if it was funny or an accident or what the hell happened. There is a hobo or a bum, if you will, and he's drinking by a dumpster, and there's some rats, and he's talking to the rats. The Phantom's hand reaches up, which I'll talk about the hand a little later. The hand reaches up and grabs one of the rats, and this hobo gets really upset, and he freaks out and he runs. A cop runs up to him and immediately starts petting his head and fixing his hair and like touching his face. It is so weird. What? I wrote, officer caresses the bum.
TPD, the T stands for tender.
Tampa Department of Police. We meet a couple characters. The two most important characters. I'm wondering which one was your favorite.
Oh, you know who my favorite was.
My favorite was Sally the receptionist. She's played by Cindy Vincino. And holy shit, where's this woman been all my life?
She's pretty fantastic.
It's one of those characters that's from another movie. She's so friggin' awesome.
The place is a dump. It's where a dump comes to dump.
Well, it's getting nicer every day. You saw all the workmen.
I saw them making more mess. Well, as long as you pay me $20 a week, more than that truck depot, I'll give it a try.
Hey, we'll bring in some plants and brighten the place up.
Screw the plants. Just make sure there's a Mr. Coffee and a cigarette machine.
Screw the plants.
And remember, you start playing fast and loose with the gate, and I'll drop you on the state's attorney so fast your balls will switch sides. I wouldn't cook the books for the truckers. I ain't gonna do it for you.
And then the other person,
my favorite,
is Marcus Aurelius Akimbo. He is played by Russell Curry. And that's Marcus Aurelius Akimbo.
He was fantastic.
What is his character exactly?
The tough guy who dresses like a dancer, but has lines straight out of, I don't know.
A thesaurus.
Yeah.
He's like a walking thesaurus. He never says anything simply. He always has these extra inflated sentences, and it's fucking
when they were going
great.
for hamburgers, he was bovine nutrition of it's just like, what?
Oh my god!
And he was just deadpan the entire time.
Yep.
The only time you saw him not deadpan was at a brief blooper at the end of the film.
Exactly. I will definitely play his introduction to Ed, because Ed's trying to put on this big event at the Ritz to save it because he's fascinated with the 50s. Surprisingly, he has nothing to do with either of the prologues, I don't think.
I was trying to figure
was
if
he
he was
supposed
one of
to
the
be
kids.
I didn't get it.
Grown up,
I couldn't connect it.
He would have known about the theater.
Right. I bet he was. I bet he was, but I don't.
I don't think there was a connection.
Oh god, it was so bad. So bad. When you have to think this hard, there's something terribly wrong.
Not that his character is bad. It just was like, this makes no sense to the connection of the beginning.
Right. And the movie is really obsessed with his plight. This is not about the Phantom. This should have been called the Ed of the Ritz.
Yeah.
Can I help you?
Actually, I'm anticipating that we can be of mutual assistance. One of your ouvriers outside informed me that you intend to put on shows of various popular entertainments that will necessitate house management and crowd control.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Well, ideally, then, you could employ me for pre- and post-event janitorial duties combined with my strategic presence to prevent rowdier elements from becoming unruly.
Well, he either wants to work here or sell us some encyclopedias.
Strictly the former. My name is Marcus Aurelius Akimbo, but my friends call me Marcus.
You're lucky.
Be assured, while I'm on duty, you'll have no trouble from drunks or lightly armed thugs.
So I want to talk about the hand. The hand that keeps interrupting the story of Ed and Nancy and the Ritz Theater. This hand belongs to the Phantom, presumably, and to this narrator who keeps sporadically narrating the movie.
Well, then this must be the bad news. I better take another look at those supporting.
Serious. Another loser wants to mess up my place.
I wrote down that this Phantom is the movie that this movie is ignoring. Completely ignoring the whole Phantom movie. This is, like you were saying, why isn't this just a kooky comedy?
Yeah, it would have been a wonderful, silly film about restoring this theater and all the quirkiness that goes on about it.
And even I thought like a murder mystery plot would have been fine with this. But the grotesque monster that you barely see the whole movie, and then they won't stop showing once they do show him. Oh, man. I wrote down a line. There's two plumbers. One's named Dutch. The other one's named Walter. Dutch says to Walter, "I hate prunes." Walter says in return, "I know you do. I love you." And I was like, holy shit, that just happened.
That was a very Fellini-esque moment.
Yes. What is the thing in the
two painters?
Yeah.
That was in Intervisto.
Oh my god, perfect. We just referenced Fellini, bitch. Yeah. So he's auditioning. Ed is auditioning musical groups
to play 50s music.
To play 50s music. So he gets. Was it the Impotent Sea Snakes?
I think they are one of the bands. It was one of those bands that were contemporaries to late 80s, early 90s Ybor music scene.
There was some street performers that they just pulled in. Real people.
Yeah, recognizable people who you'd see in Ybor. And at this time, Ybor is now very party-friendly. It has been since about the early, mid-90s. Around this time, it still had its issues. It had its rougher times. It was not the place it is today.
Right.
That's not necessarily a good thing. I can't say which is better. But, there were problems with skinheads and problems with drugs and things like
Crack.
that. Any big city, seedy area. But it's historical and it's grown up. So, but some of these people who are in the audition scene were people you saw out in front of the Ritz. Banging on an antler or something.
A very musical antler.
Yeah.
So the music audition montage is when we kind of realized we were having little moments where we were starting to go, is this a good movie? Is this entertaining? Is this not the horrendous piece of shit we were predicting? And this music montage is proof that this is a freaking great movie.
Well, she's a girl going down the street. She's a girl that I like to meet.
I'm happy to be an American with lots of pizzazz and all that jazz. I'm happy to be an American, a land of happy razzmatazz.
I tried reefer, I couldn't roll it. I tried acid and masculine, I could not control it. Said coke, I couldn't afford, my soul is feeling bored. Now I'm hanging round upstairs with the Lord. I tried women, oh how I tried.
This music montage, it goes on forever.
Yeah.
There's like 20 things they go through. It's just ridiculous. But yet, we were never bored. That's what you said. You're like, this is really entertaining.
Yeah. It was throughout. It was each of the acts. I was like, oh, waiting to see what's next. And they were talented people. The guy with the acoustic guitar was rapping about something, and he was going, and it was just, I was like, that was fantastic.
There was a lot of crazy. And it was so Tampa, it hurt.
It's one of those things that independent films will, or low budget films will make the mistake of, is they'll stick on a scene for way too long. And this was one of those scenes, but they picked the right one to stick on for way too long.
Yeah, it was genuine. So the subplot, because God forbid we get back to the Phantom.
Oh, wait. Let me interject.
Oh, yeah, please.
Just a bit of trivia. I've played 50s music in the Ritz before.
Hey! And coincidentally, I saw Napalm Death and Voivod there. But I guess that's not coincident. I've just been there.
But the last show I saw there was Ghost.
Oh, metal! Yeah. They're 50s.
Yeah, well,
although they're not really a metal band, but people... No, wait.
They're Grammy Award-winning metal band.
Booyah! That's
just like Jethro Tull.
Just like Jethro. I wish I had another word for Tull. I guess it would be...
Shirt?
Jethro Shirt.
He's not Tully Shirt. That's the accent of the guy in the next movie.
Zing! Now we need the jealousy subplot. So... For no reason whatsoever, Ed turns into a complete bastard to Nancy, who I might remind you is Deborah von Walkenberg. You're not ever mean to her. Ever. So he's a dick to her because he's putting on this thing, this Ritz thingy. So she decides to make him jealous by following one of the 2 or 3 Elvis impersonators in this movie out to his car, and she jumps in his car and kind of like flirts with him a little bit, definitely leads him on a little bit, which is strange. But Ed is watching from the window, getting jealous. So I can't believe they're going for this subplot in this movie that's full of all this stuff already. But take out all the Phantom stuff, and you got room for this subplot.
Yes. Kind of under...
Yeah, never mind. In my notes, I have a piece of dialogue I didn't want to write down because it was too great. Well, too long, really. There's a guy named B.J. McQueen, and that's the name of the actor. That is not the name of the character. This guy is going to show up in the next movie we're talking about, which I have not revealed what it is yet.
Bit of trivia, too.
Lay on,
Speaking of B.J. McQueen.
Yes.
I wonder if he was also related to another famous Tampa thespian.
Steve McQueen?
No. Butterfly McQueen.
Who's that?
From, she was, I don't know nothing about birth and no babies, Miss Scarlett.
Oh.
Gone with the Wind.
Somehow I think they were not related at all.
What was her name in that?
I don't know.
I forgot what her name was in Gone with the Wind.
Oh my god.
Prissy. She was Prissy in Gone with the Wind.
Wow.
And
maybe they were foster
I don't know.
His foster mother?
Mr. McQueen is not a slight African American fellow. He is a large rednecky fellow.
With a mustache, and very recognizable, which is why we spotted him in the next movie. But I'm going to play the quote where he criticizes the fellow workers who are painting the building. It's the Winky Dinky quote. I gotta find that.
Winky Dink.
Boys, you are rightly and truly screwing up. And don't you squat there and tell me it don't matter. Because you all's looking at a John Nagy Learn to Draw graduate. Who was the first kid on his block to own a winky-dink kit? So I know whereof I speak. Up and down, with the wood grain, if you please.
It's the night of the big concert, and
the first night.
The first night. Now, this is funny. They here's the padding of the movie. They stretched out this festival for 2 nights. They feature both nights in the movie, and of course, it's just one scene stretched out. But this is a big production thing. This is something you noticed right off the bat. They have tons of extras. They filled the Ritz Theater with crazy 50s people.
I didn't recognize any of the names, though I have friends who have talked about this film. And it must have been... I was oblivious. It was the summer I was 18, graduated high school, was when they filmed this.
Nice.
And I have friends who talk about it fondly and remember people in it. So they must have all known each other. It must have been like the Cheap Little Punks or, a group like that, or the old Hillsborough 8 Rocky Horror people that where everybody said, hey, come on, bring your friends, we're going to dress up, we're going to be in a movie.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like that kind of movie. It actually felt like a big budget film. Special effects and everything.
Yep. They had smoke machines, lights. It was like a grand production. And then the musical guest, like the actual musical guest, is the Coasters. And they were kind enough
You're
to...
talking about the first one.
to lip sync. What was the Coasters?
Remember the first one that he's like, you want to hear some 50s music? Yeah! And then they... and I forgot what song they did.
They do a cover. I'll have to look. I can't remember.
It was a very famous 50s.
I will play a clip, but yeah, they adopted it for the 80s style.
It was a dude who obviously wanted to be Michael Hutchins in a crop shirt. And nothing wrong with it. It was another bad thing.
It was so funny, though. We were both like, oh, okay.
What I did notice in the credits was whoever played saxophone also lent his magic to other songs, including the theme.
There's a group called The Waters that we learned from the credits, and they did the Phantom of the Ritz theme song, which I can't believe I haven't mentioned until now. This Phantom of the Ritz song is so great. It tells the story of the movie a little bit and warns you about that. Is the Phantom going to screw you in the vestibule? What does he say?
I don't think that's what they actually say in there, but that's what it was. It's lyrics like that to be easily confused with "screw you in the vestibule."
Oh my god, it's so good! It's so good. It's the night of the big Ritz concert, and there's 2 guys, 2 17-year-olds, we'll find out later, that are drinking in the back, out in the alley. And I'm going to play almost their entire exchange. It starts with my sister's saddle shoes, and here, holy shit.
I forgot.
Ah, shit, man. My stomach's burning. Cheap booze. My sister's saddle shoes are killing my feet, and the stench of a summer's dumpster.
Don't get no better than this, man. Hey, give me that bottle.
Did you hear that Stanley Hardy said he'd screw the Broswick twins?
Which one, Claire?
No, both of them.
Bullshit, man. We're talking serious perjury charges here.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
They get killed by the Phantom, presumably, or the giant hand, the big beefy hand that's been interjecting this whole movie. I mean, you can just sit there and just take it all in because it's just the next night of the thing, and now the Phantom strikes proper. He actually kidnaps Nancy, and he has his first speech.
I know there was a little exchange with the police during the day.
Oh,
shit. Shows, but I don't even remember. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. The one cop is talking to the other cop.
Oh, man. This white cop, and I only say he's white because he's being an asshole to the black cop. They're looking at what's left of the bodies of these 2 guys, and he is being such a dick to this poor guy. Oh, my God.
Get busy around here on Friday nights.
Me. Yeah, it's like, yes, sir. Fuck you. So I'm glad we remembered that part.
Did you know around this time Tampa had some riots in College Hill?
Really?
Probably about 89. Probably the next year. I think it was that cop.
I remember I remember the riots in St. Pete Liat always talks about from when she was in high school.
Rewinding to the College Hill riots. My friend Chris and I, he was the one who drove a 80s Mustang, real small car. Being 18, 19, and stupid, decide the next morning to drive to the center of Lake and 22nd where the riots happened and the burned down thing. And we're just like, next morning, I wish we had pictures because we're like right at the intersection. And he and I would do stupid things. We exploded a bomb in his room once. We didn't know it was a bomb. We thought it was a bunch of smoke grenade stuff. But when you mash them together, they
become a bomb.
Yeah, we did a lot of stupid stuff.
Nice. I like that. So the Phantom gives a speech, and it's really ridiculous. And this is where the movie completely becomes a shipwreck onto itself. Like, there's awkward pauses. This scene is edited really slowly. Nancy's chained to something. Sally, who... Oh, fuck, I didn't even talk about that. Shit.
Well, you're going to play the best line where she...
gets attacked. Okay, so Sally gets attacked, and we don't know if she's dead or alive, but the scene where she gets snatched by the Phantom is brilliant. He attacks her in the ladies' room, which is real classy. Although, maybe the Ritz only had one working bathroom at the time, so it was co-ed.
Now they have fantastic bathrooms.
Hey! She is chained up in the Phantom's lair, and we finally find out the entire story of the Phantom. He's now narrating to Nancy, which is, I guess, just talking. But he's so self-aware and so sure of himself, and he talks about his testicles being burned to little raisins. It's so terrible, and the camera lingers on his makeup. So you're looking at this rather large actor and his horrifying burn makeup. It doesn't belong at this point. It's too late in the movie.
No. It's one of those shots like you're in a deli at Publix and you see the meat and it's sort of just peeling off in places like they cut it ill.
Yes.
And, it was like, oh wow, we had budget. We might as well use it in the film.
Oh, man. Movie wraps up with a big fight against the Phantom.
The cops are chasing him through the back hallways of the Ritz.
Yep.
And it was actually Marcus who found the room.
He jumps through the wall.
Yeah, because
Love it.
He can bench press 410 pounds.
Yes, Marcus is the Shakespearean weightlifter. He totally gets given a gun and just joins the cops to go after it because Ed broke his hand. And then Ed gets his hand looked at by an EMT and then joins in the rest of it.
Who, instead of fixing his hand out in the main area, they follow him back to where he followed the cops in the darkened corridors and fixes his hand there.
Just to stay in the movie.
Just to stay in the movie.
Of course, the Phantom is set on fire again, which, hey, that happens. Sally gets rescued.
She, with two great Sally lines
that are totally out of place. Did she call him a teamster?
Something like that. And she also said something about, I don't get paid for this.
Oh, that was her thing. Yeah. She's got a contract. She's definitely union. She's definitely a union. Yeah. Oh, it's so
fantastic.
She's just out of another movie. Like, I don't know, 5 Easy Pieces or like...
No, she's the sassy neighbor from Maude or something like that,
60s.
Yeah.
Or early 70s. It's so... oh my God.
Perfect as that. She is Bob Newhart's secretary. She's Marsha Wallace, That kind of, complaining.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Ed and Nancy negotiating for sex at the beginning.
God.
She wanted to pick the color and decorate. That's why she's in the theater the whole time. She wanted to decorate. We almost missed another great moment from B.J. McQueen. His speech about the riots.
That's right.
Or some riots.
Jeez. There is so much. Well, that's the problem in this film. There's so much going on so fast. It's so good. But you're right. The exchange about her becoming the interior decorator.
And her negotiating that with sex with Ed is so insane. Which is okay if you're married. Not okay if you're just dating.
Why? We didn't even know if they were dating. They might have just been watching 69 Cent divided by 3 films.
Oh, man. So the end of the movie happens.
69 cents divided by 3. That's 23 cents.
Math. I hate math.
None of this is in my job description. Look out for Chunky. I think he's a teamster.
So yeah, the movie ends. Just the Phantom died and all the other people he killed. But there's a postscript where he is rising out of the floor of the stage.
And I think this is his finest moment.
It's pretty good.
It's that iconic scene of the organ rising from the stage, which I don't know if the Ritz had an organ like that or if they filmed it at Tampa Theater.
Because Tampa Theater definitely has the organ that rises out of the floor.
Which I don't see them letting Tampa Theater at that time letting anyone use it. So they must have set it up somehow.
Yeah.
It could have been a fake one. Oh, what a great scene.
He rises out of the floor and goes to play his big pipe organ, like, and it's, he just gets up and leaves.
He skulks off.
Credits, and of course, I called it. As we're watching the credits, I'm like, so is there going to be a stinger after this?
You did.
There were 2. They had a member of the crew tap dancing and then some bloopers and something else. The guy.
The bloopers as they were introducing the
actors,
which is the only time that Marcus Aurelius Akimbo smiles.
Yeah, he cracks a smile and it gets out of character. It's, oh man. Oh my god, this movie, dude.
You know, though, at this time, it was sort of ahead of the curve because the next year you saw Robert Englund's Phantom of the Opera and you had Phantom of the Mall, and then more Phantom of the Operas came out within the next 5 years.
Man.
So it was there, and the thing that really surprised me was the budget and the writing.
Yep.
The 2 things. They nailed it. They had something special here. They just...
It didn't stick the landing. Yeah, this is really fun shit. It's one of those movies where the director and everybody's more interested in all the character dynamics. They're more interested in just anything but the premise of the movie. It's like Final Exam, where it is like, we don't give a shit. Have you ever seen a horror movie called Popcorn?
Yes.
Now that is a Phantom of the Theater type of movie that nails it. And it's great movie, creepy, weird. Doesn't have any of the charm of this. Because this, I mean, you don't have to be from Tampa to really enjoy this if you like offbeat movies.
No, there was something there that they should really applaud themselves for this, and they should all get into a van and go beat up the USF film.
Yeah, the crew of Satan's Children.
Yeah.
This should be shown at Tampa Theater. Yeah. This needs a revival, damn it.
It should be shown at the Ritz.
Hey, boom, it's still there. The first thing I wrote down, I immediately regretted was I wrote down, did Troma make this? Then, like, less than 5 minutes later, I wanted to cross that out. Because I was like, no... This has heart and soul.
I was about to say it was more entertaining than a Troma.
Yeah, the horror stuff is baffling. The quotable dialogue is just so insane. We couldn't even keep up with it. And it has characters you actually care about. You wonder what's going to happen to them. Oh, man. Thank you, Jeffrey, for hooking us up.
An excellent suggestion.
Oh, my God.
That was fantastic.
And you know it's a thoroughly researched episode when Nafa gets out his high school yearbook.
I'm looking to see if there's anything relevant, like, to contribute, because Oh, I was looking, like, maybe in the ads there might have been something, but that would be more for the other film, because this one is more for Ybor.
Do you have any signatures you want to any quotes that people signed on your yearbook to read?
I'm sure I've got plenty.
Did anyone sign your yearbook, you fucking loser?
That's okay. I'm joking. Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't even have a yearbook.
My school was small.
My school was ball.
How about Best of Luck from Masson Moore? I'm going to have Masson listen to this now.
Now, did you have Best of Luck?
No.
Oh,
from your favorite poser, Serena.
Well,
and I'm going to have Serena listen to this now, too. Actually, Facebook. I never left these
Facebook is the new yearbook.
Facebook, yeah.
Are you a Preston poser?
Oh.
That took me too long to think of.
Nothing really relevant. I mean, all relevant to me, nothing to the films. Okay. Sorry, Serena and Masson, I love you both.
I love you guys too.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back, and I'm now going to reveal the mystery film from Tampa, No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Blood Brothers, from 1990.
Googly lock.
From Washington, D.C. to Miami, Florida, a trail of bloodshed runs across the whole country. An act of terrorism threatens every American citizen. Even the Stars and Stripes is challenged. Now it's the final encounter. Two brothers are trapped in a private mission.
Anybody tries anything and he dies.
And they push their country to the brink of extinction. Blood Brothers.
You know, maybe if you admitted to me that you're a spy, cut that out. I might respect you more.
They're professionals. They're brothers. But they're oil and water. They'll never mix. The only man who can bring them together is their father.
5110 is not lucky.
I'm retired. With these people, that doesn't mean anything. Revenge doesn't retire.
Who is viciously executed by a terrorist. Now they want their revenge.
To the revolution.
To the revolution.
My brother is nothing like you.
No. Your brother is dead.
Alone, they're a handful. Together, they're unstoppable. They're out of their depth, outnumbered, and almost out of time. But little do they know, they've been set up, and the fate of the entire nation is on the line. When it comes to it, they don't get along. They get even. Blood Brothers!
Well, we almost messed that up. No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Blood Brothers from 1990, directed by Lucas Lowe, filmed in Washington, D.C. Tampa. Now, I only saw a couple scenes from this, and it had Nafa and I all over it, mainly because it's Tampa and also because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it was...
Oh. Yikes.
Listen to my opinion change throughout. It was reeking of 1983 Enter the Ninja type films.
Oh my god!
And that's just from watching the credits.
Yep.
That was nothing to do with the acting or the staging.
When they showed the credits, they looked like Hong Kong bad translated to English credits. That's because the producer of this is Mr. C. Yen Ing, and he did tons of kung fu movies. It's really obvious.
He did a lot, his crew didn't.
Yes. There's a vast distinction between this movie and real kung fu movies, and it's sad.
His vision is there.
When you have the title pop up and there's laser beam blast sounds, like, pew, 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 oh, you're in for a treat.
It was edited on an Amiga.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is right out of the gate. We have this bank robbery in Washington, D.C., and something is off. And you just know something is wrong. And it's the lead actor. His name is Keith Vitale.
Keith Vitale. Keith Vitale.
Keith Vitale.
Keith Vitale.
Is he the lead actor? Because he has a bro.
He shares it.
His name is Casey Alexander. That's the character. And his younger brother, Will Alexander, played by Lauren Avedon. He has a girl's name.
Avedon?
What?
Don's a boy's name.
Does he have a dong?
No. Let me just say off the bat.
Wow. This is... I already feel like...
Casey, the gentleman you just mentioned. He won me over. He's fantastic.
When he smiles, the movie stops. It is so awkwardly, like... You thought he had an accent that he was covering up.
It sounds like he's got some sort of accent that's... And for all intents and purposes, it cannot find where it's from. Or
I looked him up, and he was born in the United States, and I was very surprised. He sounds like he was born in a Slavic country, and his English is a second language.
I was thinking Irish.
Or Irish, very heavy Irish accent. Either one would have been totally plausible. But he delivers dialogue like a Martian, and his smile, every time he smiles, he stops being a person. It's so... He becomes mannequin or something? Oh my god.
I just think that he's probably, at heart, one of these trained martial artists who's a teacher who got into movies, much like Steven Seagal in that way.
Oh, yeah. So the story is that Casey is a spy, and his dad, who is played by Joseph Campanella, who is now most famous for his portrayal of a cop in Golden Girls, along beside
Estelle Getty.
No, who's the famous guy who was in Solaris?
George Clooney.
Yes, George Clooney and this guy Joseph Campanella are in an episode of Golden Girls where they make the Golden Girls go undercover to catch some thieves. And their neighbors are thieves.
Of all things, Solaris.
I don't... You know, honestly, like, I'm so bad with popular movie people that I just go for, like, the one most, like, tangential thing I can fucking think of. Or just tangential.
There's a lot of those in this.
So Joseph Campanella... Joseph Campanella is the dad named John, and he is a so-called retired spy.
I'm retired.
Dude. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, this is so brilliant. He gets murdered.
After his party.
After his birthday party.
You forgot about the cake.
Who wants cock?
And the fudge-striped cookies.
Holy shit, I'm getting there. I swear I'm getting there. So he gets killed, and they... Casey and Will go to catch Kiefer Sutherland, who's actually a guy named Franco. I call him Bleacher Sutherland.
Cue the music.
Thou shalt not kill. He's the master of the lawn darts. But back to the fudge stripe cookies. So it's Dad's birthday, and there's this huge spread, all this food. There might be roast beef, but the most amazing thing is there's a plate of fudge stripe cookies, and it just blew my mind. Like, I've eaten those. I've never had cake or meat.
Eaten them in Florida.
Oh my God. I've eaten like thousands of them in Florida. I'm eating them right now.
My favorite part of this scene is when the dad says, either cut it or pull it out. And if you're not paying attention, if you're making notes, writing fudge stripe in your notebook and you're not seeing what the scene is, it really colors the whole context. So.
Okay, I have a theory about older actors like Joseph Campanella. There's a bunch of actors from his like classic Hollywood days, and I think I know why they were still getting work in 1990. Because they could comb their hair. Men could comb their hair.
Their hair was quite combed.
It's the term coif is still a term. So he gets attacked. Dad gets attacked. I'm like fast forwarding before and after his death and rewinding over and over.
That's okay. It should be relived over.
He gets attacked by Greg Allman, Nickelback assassin guy.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, the Greg Allman guy. And you're like, he looks like the guy from Nickelback. Yeah. But he gets killed. He kills his assassin, and then they replace his assassin with the dark-haired twin of the same character.
Who turns out to be Private Danzig. I just now realized that's the same guy, because he was either the BG assassin or Tiny Danzig or Private Danzig.
Dude, this guy looked like a little George Eastman for my Italian horror fans out there. Oh my God, he looked like he got shrunk. Oh man, there's so much stunt double tomfoolery during this thing. Like, when Dad grows an afro whenever he gets hurt and fly. And there's, oh my God, the sequence.
The money that Phantom of the Ritz put into the car explosion scene was not equal to the money they put into for wigs for this film, for the stuntman.
This is something I was going to mention later, but I might as well talk about it now. The choreography for the fights is good. They had to speed up a bunch of things to make it look more entertaining, I guess. It's really obviously sped up, but the direction and the editing is terrible. All of the choreography is fucking wasted because the movie's so bad. And there's impressive stuff happening.
That was the diss on the crew earlier.
Yeah.
Because you can see what the director's vision is.
Exactly. Dad gets killed, and I'm going to play the entire grieving scene. I'm playing this whole scene, people. I don't care if you're bored.
It's a tearjerker.
Oh my God.
Or it jerks something.
Casey and Will are grieving over dead Dad. Because, of course, Joseph Campanella has cashed his check and has to get out of there. Not that he wasn't committed. Joseph Campanella he's in it to win it. But he's out of the movie pretty quickly. And their grieving over him is the best thing I've ever seen with my eyes. Holy shit.
Terms of endearment, my ass.
Dad! What happened? What happened? Where the hell were you? Coming right back. He's dead! It's your fault! You should have been here! Shut up! Just shut up! That'll work. This kind of thing happens. It happens. It happens! Not to my dad. I loved him! Stop it! He's dead. It's over. Why, God? We were supposed to go hunting this weekend. Oh, Dad, I never got to tell you I'm sorry.
Will.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Dad wouldn't have wanted you to take it like this.
Look, just leave me alone, man.
Will, you don't have to suffer this alone.
Look, he
was my father, too.
The only thing that was keeping us together is dead.
Suit
just
yourself.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone.
Suit yourself, goddammit.
Casey and Will argue, because that's all they do is argue. They're blood brothers, but they're also butt brothers. I guess butt brothers
One likes
fight.
camping, the other doesn't. And the other likes camping. And my problem with the beginning of this film is I couldn't tell them apart at the time.
Yes.
I got confused. For a second there, I thought Will was the one in the bank, but it was Casey.
I forgot they were brothers, too. Like, I completely... Because they keep cutting from the dude killing the bank robbers to the training montage of a totally different actor. And, yeah, they're... If only they'd have different style hair and faces.
They were pretty brotherly.
A little too brotherly, if you know what I mean. Casey goes to do his spy investigating, and he goes to see the IT guy, and oh my god, okay. If you're going to get through this movie, folks, you're going to be yelling at your TV a lot. If you're like Nafa and I, we're screaming at our TV because of a certain IT guy we work with who shall remain nameless. Who shall remain nameless. Instead of having the computer guy stick around and they talk to each other about what they learn in the files, computer guy says, I'm out of here, you didn't see me and I didn't see you, blah, 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 blah. He leaves, and then poor Keith Vitale has to talk at the computer because we're morons in the audience, and they can't just show us what he learns. They have to have him explain what he learns. He's talking to the computer after the IT guy was already sexually harassing the computer, calling it a whore.
Yeah. That
Oh, my God.
Oh, that was so frustrating.
Whew.
Nice to see you, Casey. I need your help. Doesn't everybody? What can I do for you? You're not even supposed to have this file, Casey. Seriously restricted, my friend.
There's a huge chunk of this file missing, and I've got to see it. Aren't all the files in that computer?
Yeah, but both you and I need clearance.
Franklin, I'm giving you the clearance.
Why, you bitch! Now you're pissing me off. I'm gonna have to get nasty with you, honey. She loves it when I talk rough with her. And... Got you, you whore. Access permitted. She's all yours, Casey. But I can't stick around, you understand? Okay.
Thanks, Franklin.
Sure.
Which button do I push to print it out?
This one. But I didn't see you. Right?
I was never here. Let's see what Franco has to do with my dad. He was working on the case for 4 years before he retired. He got a lot of the guys working for Franco, but never got the man himself. But what country is he working in now? Ours. Most current intelligence. Last known operational center, Gulf Coast, Florida. That's in the USA, all right. Why is Franco here? Unknown. What do you mean unknown?
We get to the parking garage scene where some assassins try to kill Casey. Will intervenes. There's a character that left us way too soon. These assassins send a sexy woman. In memoriam. Yes. This woman is actually a man in disguise. And when Casey pulls a gun, the gun gets knocked away, kicks this guy in the chest or face or whatever. This guy pulls a gun, and apparently they were buddies with the bank robbers. And he has a line that's just brilliant, and I was so mad when this character didn't make it.
We heard you were pretty tough, but I don't think you are. You're gonna bleed like my comrades from the bank.
And there's a lot of crazy kicking.
It was a well choreographed scene.
That might have been the best fight scene in the movie. It was really solid, but
it's definitely up there.
Terribly edited. I wrote down that Will says, "I don't do funky work."
Oh, that was later. We're still in DC, I guess.
Oh yeah, fake DC.
Because remember, his brother secretes him in his
Yep.
loses his keys, and
we haven't even gotten to fake Udo Kier yet.
We haven't even gotten to Florida yet.
Let's go to Florida. Fuck DC. Let's go to Florida.
Fast forward.
So they fly to Florida, and it's brilliant.
The younger brother goes first to try and track down the killer.
Yep.
Followed later by
Casey.
the other brother who's trying to track down his brother.
Oh my god.
And then you can actually start calling the outdoors Florida.
Yes, where they were before.
Oh, wait. Cue the scene. Because Casey's going to Florida, or whatever he says. Remember, he says, I'm going to Florida.
I don't remember.
There's this...
When he's on the phone with the travel agent.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course, he has to flirt with her because she knows him. Oh, it's so great. Oh, thank you. I will definitely include that part.
Reservations, Lonnie speaking.
Lonnie, this is Casey.
Hi.
I have to get away for a while. Can you send me a list of flights ASAP?
Sure. Where you going this time?
Florida.
And Florida, apparently, in 89, 90, is... Everybody's idea of Florida is that it's a 1986 David Lee Roth music video.
Oh my god. There's so many hard bodies in this sequence. I just kept saying over and over again, it's the 80s. Everyone looks like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, potentially very sexy people look awful.
Because they look painted, and there was a lot of rave hairspray at that time.
And body oil. Everyone was oiled up.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so funny.
Popped collars.
And this is where, like, the movie kind of deceived me for a bit. Like, I thought it wasn't going to be Tampa as fuck, but then it was. Oh, yeah. Like, we see a lot of nondescript locations for a long time in this movie, especially when they're trying to pass off Tampa as DC. But when you get to Tampa and you're just seeing, like, oh, there's the highway. Oh, okay, there's that. Then all of a sudden, we're all over the port. Like, we're all over the port of Tampa.
Which, that Port of Tampa area is where they did film some of the scenes of Phantom of the Ritz, but it's right there south of Ybor.
Exactly.
The rest of it, when we were trying to figure it, I'm thinking they just drove around the Courtney Campbell near the airport. They didn't seem to veer off too far.
Will's big plan is to go undercover and work for Franco. So he meets up with fake Udo Kier, who tries to hire him, and he's like, I don't do funky work. That part's great. But then we see in a bar with Will flashing his freaking butterfly knife around because, you know, they're very scary and intimidating. This is for court.
His knife is his penis.
So this big, scary guy comes up to Will to, like, intimidate him or whatever.
Take his seat back. Oh, Will took his seat.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I was defending Will.
Some northerner coming in and taking your seat while you live down south.
Fucking snowbirds, man. That's who's out racing that car right now. Fucking snowbird. He rented that Trans Am.
You know.
So.
Deflate gate.
All of a sudden, Nafa and I are like, is that the same dude from Phantom of the Ritz who said the winky dink? Yep. Hey, free BJs for everyone after work.
Yeah.
That's another work joke, believe it or not. So, BJ McQueen is back. Both movies are connected. There's probably... I should have done the cast and crew comparison.
This is like...
Oh my god, I bet there's more people that are involved.
This is like the Marvel Universe. Well, you know, we could...
He's Agent Hill! Oh, shit!
Hey, pal, that seat's taken.
Yeah, by me.
Move.
Sit down or say goodbye to your balls. Make it easy on yourself. Hit me on the back, laugh like we're friends, and then sit down. But maybe you want to feel the pain.
So we get to know Franco, or Bleacher Sutherland. He is an albino, quote-unquote. I'm not sure what his character is supposed to be. He throws the lawn darts around a lot.
Which, you know, you just inadvertently brought up a point. When Will first got to Tampa, he met up with his friends at the dojo, and they play, fight, attack each other.
Oh, so good.
What happened to them after the bar?
Nothing.
They became rock salt.
Nice. Yeah, that he used them.
N.A. That's a Tim Masters word.
Oh.
You know, N.A. for...
Not available? That is a totally dropped plot thread. Why didn't they have those guys helping them later?
Did they appear, or were they part of the bad guys later? Or...
I don't know. He uses his buddies to help him win the trust of fake Udo Kier at the bar, thus getting him into work for Franco.
With ketchup.
With ketchup. Oh, the ketchup smearing part. Was that guy allergic to ketchup? What was that part?
To make him look bloody.
I don't get it.
Or smell like a hot dog.
Okay, so in order...
Because in Tampa, they all smell like Cubans.
What? Cuban sandwiches.
Yes, Cuban sandwiches.
Thank you. Everyone in this movie smelled like hot dogs. When this movie tries to be funny, watch out. Like, when this movie has a legit comedic sequence, it is so mind-bending. Like, you think you took acid. And I've never taken acid, but I think it's contained in the scene where, in order to pretend that he's working for Franco, he has to go and kill someone. Will tries to kill, quote-unquote, Casey in his house.
Rewind to when Casey shows up and is following Will.
Uh-huh.
And he keeps dogging him from hotel to hotel.
The note.
Yeah. The note was also at the Days Inn.
XOXO, bro.
The Casey meets up with an old flame.
Oh. Have we been skipping Maria?
We totally skipped Maria. And played by Wanda Kuna, which apparently is not Wakanda, where Black Panther's from in the Marvel Universe.
Nice.
But she's like the ultimate 1989 hot girl for Tampa, and everything about her is perfectly set to what the beauty standard was then, and she is.
She would have been a fly girl.
Yeah.
She would have been in a MC Hammer video, but she couldn't dance, so she would just walk in and look pouty.
A very comely lass. She's not perhaps the most skilled of thespians, or perhaps not much more than eye candy.
If you were to go to a saltine factory and set up a camera and film the assembly line where the crackers come out of the oven, that's pretty much her dialogue. Like, she is so consistent in being hideous.
No, she's... I see, and I had this debate whether Deborah Van Von or Wakanda.
Walkenberg.
I was like, Deborah or Wanda.
I'm going to go with Deborah.
I'm going to have to be on Team Wanda.
Wow. Interesting.
Team
Wanda.
I think from living through it, even though Deborah has more soul, I'm just going to have to...
Wait a minute. What if it's Deborah, Acuna, Wandaberg? Just combine them to be the perfect woman.
Wanda Van Vonberg?
Wait a minute. Why doesn't Wanda hook up with Peter Berg, man? Oh.
Yeah. So, she comes into the picture now.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. All of her scenes are coming back at once.
Like when she meets him and pushes him into the pool.
My God. Oh, you said that was his best moment of acting.
That was his... that is the point. Where I was like, this guy is genius. I love Keith Lagori. No, he's the
Lugosi.
Yeah, Keith Lagori is a local lawyer.
Oh,
just to be in case y'all aren't from around here.
They are.
Oh, then we're all friends.
Yay!
I missed you. Where did you go? You left me all alone and went on with your life. Well, what about my life? Who asked you?
The moment where she tells him off while they're drinking grapefruit juice. He is so weird in this scene. Like, go ahead and go. But he's doing it like a Martian. Like, not from this earth.
Because she keeps playing this come here, get away game.
Oh my God.
And it's frustrating.
Oh my God. She's really funny. Really perfect.
Yeah, she is the epitome Miss Tampa 1989.
I love it.
It's very simple, Maria. I don't want you involved.
Then why did you come to me?
I needed you to make contact.
And you don't need me anymore? Is that it? Well, screw that. With me, it's either all or nothing.
Then it's nothing.
Who do you think you are? You leave, you come back, and you expect me to sit here just waiting for you? Not anymore. Not anymore, no. And don't even think about coming after me.
Great. Just great.
Will shows up to kill Casey. He doesn't know who's at the door, so they pretend fight while Franco's goons are watching from the window. This is so amazing. The movie's trying to be funny Jackie Chan style, but it's more like George Lopez or something. Like, it's not funny in any known universe. Like, it's like I said, when this movie tries to be funny, watch out. It gets really terrible on multiple levels. And I started writing a funnier scene in my head where he leaves his brother tied up in the curtains like a body. And then he leaves, and I was like, why doesn't frickin' Maria walk in and go, what's this? That would be so funny if they just left him there. And again, they keep leaving Casey to talk to himself. Okay, bro, I'll get you later.
It was like with this keys getting locked out.
Oh my
every
God.
time, and at the hotel,
God, the keys.
Every time they interact, Casey ends up in some sort of muddle.
Oh, it should have been funny. It should have been good. But this movie has, aside from terrible fight choreography filming, it also has terrible comedy everything.
And yet, I found that so charming, those scenes.
Franco captures both Casey and Will. He needs Will to go and assassinate the Mozambique Prime Minister at Tampa International Airport. Tampa International Airport is name dropped multiple times. It is shown for the last half an hour of the movie.
It only felt like half an hour.
He's holding Casey and Maria hostage with the frickin' remote control electric chair thing that the guy rigged up. So if Will tries to pull any shit, he'll electrocute Casey.
There's another connection. When Sally was in the Phantom's room, she was connected to a bed thing, too.
There you go. But they couldn't afford the lightning.
Mm-mm.
Which is great.
Actually, they could. They just chose not to.
When he presses the button to electrocute Casey, Keith Vitale starts reacting just a split second before the effects start.
That's because his reactions are faster than lightning. Keith Vitale's my new hero.
He's amazing. So, of course, using a tactic called Shame the Woman.
Isn't that what Sting used?
Yes. That's what tantric sex is about. He manages to get the bad guys to focus on Maria long enough for him to pull some shit, and then he gets away.
He has that knife shoe this whole time.
The whole time.
I guess it's part of his spy bag.
Yep. Spy bag. So Casey, I'm getting mixed up again. Spy bag. Casey's racing to the airport to stop Will because he wants Will to know, hey, I'm not captured. Don't kill that guy.
But it's not Casey Anthony.
Oh, no. Jugs of a killer. Spy bag. I'm trying to make this a short part of the podcast.
I'm trying to learn.
So he has this list of demands that he's supposed to read in front of the cameras, which he never does. But here's the funny thing about the movie. It's revealed that the president is there at Tampa International Airport because Air Force One has landed at Tampa International Airport. Is this actually Air Force One, and that's why they decided to film a movie there real quick? I don't know. It looked like Air Force One did in the 90s, but
my guess...
I have no
I thought it was always like a 747, and this was more like a DC-10.
Maybe this is where they spent their money on.
Well, I'm thinking they had somebody... Because when the plane is landing, I didn't see any markings, but when they showed up close, they see the seals.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm thinking they must have had some stock footage recorded.
Or it's a movie version. They rented the movie version of that plane.
Well, much like the scene at the burial of their dad, where they're at the Iwo Memorial.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they
my God.
might have cut in stock footage, which I'm thinking is what happened.
Dude, connection to our Impulse episode, they were filming... John, aka Dad's death scene. They were filming his burial at that cemetery in Tampa, where they filmed a bunch of cemetery scenes in Impulse with William Shatner.
Myrtle Hill.
I
believe it's Myrtle Hill.
We were hoping they'd walk by the Moy.
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 You can't walk in there without walking by the Moy.
Man. So, back to the end of the movie. Will grabs the Mozambique prime minister, and he's holding him hostage. He's going to read the demands, but Casey cockblocks it because the whole point is that Franco and his guys are going to take a bazooka and blow up Air Force One. They stop that from happening. The villain, who I'm too bored to talk about, shows up, and it turns out it was a huge double/triple cross, whatever, so that because he's an American spy who would look like a hero by saving the president and killing Bleacher Sutherland. And then I called it because, of course, Maria, because this movie has so many familiar beats, Maria's going to save the day. She's been hiding around, and she shot the bad guy who's too boring to talk about.
The bad guy shot Bleacher Sullivan.
In the face. They resisted the freeze frame and ending.
I'll tell you what, though. That whole sequence with the action between the brothers and the two bad guys, the Bleach guy and his Private Danzig, that was really well done. There was a lot of awesome Jackie Chan-like choreography. Like
and
you
wigs.
were saying earlier. And wigs. But it was just filmed poorly.
Yep.
And there is a lot in this scene, but there's a lot to forget.
Yeah, you feel bad for the stuntmen who are working so hard on this. You know what I mean?
Mind you, as they're trying to escape the police, when he had to capture the Mozambique guy, and then his brother comes to save him, they both end up kidnapping the Mozambique guy, sticking him on a plane, tying him up, and letting the plane go.
Oh my God.
Run down the runway until it crashed into the bay. So, after all this, they still have kidnapped an international official. Yeah, there was so much there. I'm sure when the bay doors opened, they must have shot them. That's what happened.
No! He's my brother.
Your brother?
Yes. You're pretty good at saving this free world shit. Ever consider doing it for a living?
Hey, don't start with me, man.
What?
Look, I'd have to work with you, wouldn't I?
We went to Tampa tonight.
No retreat.
No surrender. 3 Blood Brothers. Have you seen any of the No Retreat, No Surrender movies?
I must have seen the first one.
Because I know Jean-Claude Van Damme is in the first one. I know the producer is the same on all 3 up until this point. And I know there's more after this one.
I was never a Van Damme fan.
Yeah.
I was always Seagal. But this, I must have at least passed it on television or something. And when they started getting into the numbered sequels, you know, things like that, like Iron Eagle and things like
oh
that,
my
it was
God.
just like, okay, I saw one of these already. Do I need to see 8 more? He says, looking at his Friday the 13th collection.
But this is funny to me because, like, I don't watch a lot of goofy action movies, and this is so good for that kind of stuff. It's terrible, but it's so good, and this hits a lag right in the middle where I started to get really antsy, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a real slog to get through, and I can't really put my finger on why, but then the moment I said it out loud, it started to turn around. Like, the movie found its energy again. And I don't know how it did that.
A lot of these films, right, when they get to the middle, it gets to, like, the breathing point. Instead of just breathing and going, it'll just, like... And the difference is the first film was enjoyable because it was unexpectedly fantastic.
Yeah.
The second film was enjoyable because it wasn't. And...
Yep.
I love, the actors in it were a lot of fun too, and the story was predictable and
so predictable.
But in the best way, his reaction going into the pool, that was worth it.
Thanks to Brad for picking our double feature tonight, even though he didn't know.
He knew.
Thanks to Jeffrey for supplying a copy of this, of Phantom of the Ritz.
Bless you.
I'm going to send him a copy of this movie, No Retreat, No Surrender 3, Blood Brothers, or Butt Brothers, whichever. And we're going to go into the Tampa night. Do the Prince thing again.
Where you going this time?
Florida.
Nafa, thank you for joining me once again.
Thank you for having me at my place.
Thanks.
Wait. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, what? We went to PDQ and we had chickens. Live chickens, like they serve in. We serve in Tampa.
Thank you, Brad and Jeffrey, again. Too.
Just like the Prince song says, you complete me. You had me at hello. My heart will go on, and I'm the king of the world. You can't see the face I'm making. Not video. Good night, folks. Bye.
Hello, this is The Doomed Show. Is available at hellodoomedshow.podomatic.com. For the old episodes, check out the archives at doomedmoviethon.com. To contact the show, email us at doomedmoviethon@gmail.com or at doomedmoviethon on Twitter. For more Doomed Moviethon goodness, also visit cinemasomnambulist.com.
Looking for something different in your podcast library? Then why not check out the podcast Under the Stairs? I'm the host, Duncan McLeish, and joining me each week will be a special guest as we examine some classic, old-school horror favourites, as well as some modern classics. That's not to say that we don't tackle some of the, let's say, more questionable entries into the horror genre. And if all that wasn't enough, we have a subset of shows called Baz v Horror, where our horror novice, the Baz, tackles horror in all shapes and forms to see who will come out victorious. So what are you waiting for? The show can be found at podcastunderthestairs.wordpress.com and on Stitcher and iTunes. The Podcast Under the Stairs is a proud member of Legion Podcast Network. This is Duncan McLeish from Under the Stairs, signing off.